Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing a flight from Miami International to Princess St. Julian or St. Martin's Airport, TNCM from KMIA. So yeah, let's just get started. I'm flying in the Delta Airlines Airbus A320. So yeah, we're just going to jump right in. First things first, we're going to load the fuel. So let's jump into the cockpit.
Park brake on.
Turn our parking brake on, call the fuel truck. And we're going to wait for the fuel truck to get there. And we are going to go ahead and load it up. With 19. And we can go ahead and get rid of the stairs and the catering truck. Close the passenger door. Go ahead and turn on battery 1, battery 2. Maybe turn it off.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your chief flight attendant. On behalf of Captain and the entire crew, welcome aboard Out Airlines. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. Also make sure your seat belt is correctly fastened. Also, we advise you that as of this moment, any electronic equipment must be turned off. Thank you.
As it fuels up, go ahead and turn battery 1, battery 2 on. It's almost done. Kind of just froze at 18.7. Get rid of the fuel truck. And as we wait for the APU to start, we can hear it starting now. This start right here will say avail. And once that says avail, we can go ahead and turn on the APU bleed right there. So that's going to switch right now. And there you go, it says avail. Turn on APU bleed, turn on pack 1, turn on pack 2. Get our cockpit temperature right in the middle. And both our cabin temperatures right in the middle. So that has been set. Now we'll go up here to the natters, set it to STS, set it to 3, and then we turn all these on to nav. And we're going to wait till this says STS PPOS ENT. So there we go. Hit enter. 7 minutes till it aligns. Go ahead and turn on our beacon, nav lights, seatbelt, smoking, armor, emergency light. We can brighten up the overhead a little bit. You can just go ahead and turn on the strobes right now. And we're going to wait for that to change. It should change any minute. Check our fuel. We have 18,000 kilograms. It said we needed 19,400, so hopefully that'll be enough to make us there. There we go, so that's on. Go to our flight plan. Initializer init. Select. Now we can go to our flight plan and hit init, and then select KMIA-TNCM. Select that from the 2. Hit align IRS. This is Delta Airlines, so DAL 3301. And cost index is 65. And we don't want to hit the cruise flight yet, so we want to go to the next page. Our block has been set. Go ahead and hit our 0 weight, so it'll automatically calculate that. And now we can go to our flight plan. We can hit KMIA departure. We are going to be departing from runway 8 right, and we will be going on the skips 2. There we go. Hit flight plan. Now we can go up. And some people might see this flight plan discontinuity. So when you see this, you got to make sure everything's in yellow, because if you hit enter, it'll insert your flight plan and it'll all turn green, and then you can't clear that. So make sure it's all yellow. Just hit the clear button and then click on the flight plan discontinuity and it will take it away. So now we can hit the rest of our points. So our next one is ZQA, and we're just going to click skips, the third left key right there, and we're going to get that flight plan. We can just leave that for now. And then we can hit GTK, click ZQA, and I'll go right below that. And then we can go up again to the next one. It is Idaho, IDAHO, and click GTK, it'll go below that. And after that it is DDP, so we can hit DDP, click Idaho, it'll go below that. And then the last one is Sluggo, SLUGO, click DDP, and this should go below that. Now we can hit clear, get rid of this flight plan discontinuity, hit TNCM. We're going to be doing the RNAV 10. Click that. Elbow 1. Hit return. No transition. So go back to our flight plan. And we can actually get rid of Vaki. So we'll hit clear and get rid of that. Hit clear again, get rid of that. And we can actually get rid of Aluba, we don't need that. Clear, flight plan discontinuity, get rid of that. Now we can go back to the init page, hit our flight level. Our cruise flight will be 360. Click that in there, it'll be entered. Now if you go back to our flight plan, everything will be lit up and it'll tell us our top of descent, our flight, our altitude, what we should be at, all the way until we land at St. Martin's. So right there, and that tells us everything. So that is looking good. We got our flight plan in and all set. Just go to the top here. Alright, turn on our radio. There we go, we got our radios on. Everything there is set. We can get rid of airport right here. We don't need airport. We'll CSTR. This should be 10,000. Oops. Alright. So that is looking good. Let's go back to our flight plan, actually, our MFC. Hit performance now. And our load weight for this flight should be okay, so we go to ground, load, 13.6 tons, and here it says 11 tons. I'm using fuelplanner.com, I registered for it, so everything's in kilos already, and then I just converted that to tons. We can leave it at 11.4, so our THS is 1.4 up. So now we know that over here we will set our flaps to 2/up 1.4. Go ahead and click that. Click our V speeds, V1, V2, V1, VR, V2. Our transition altitude is 10,000. And F65 is our flex. So that is all good. Prog is set, direct, fuel. That is all set. And it looks like everything has been set, so we are actually ready for pushback. So we can go ahead and call the tow. Start our push.
Park brake off.
ahead and stop right there. We can get rid of our tow. Thanks for the help, and get rid of him.
Park brake on.
And there he goes. So now we will be taxiing to runway 8 right. So first things first though, we must start our engines. So we'll turn on left pumps, center pumps, and right pumps. We'll go down here, turn our engine mode selector to start, and we will flip engine
Starting
2.
engine 2.
And there goes engine 2. You can actually see the RPMs going up, and engine's starting to fire up. It's looking good. It should be around 20 once it's in idle. And there we go. Perfect. Start engine 1.
Starting engine 1.
And while that's firing up, we will go ahead and turn on our taxi light. Turn our wing light on, and we can leave our landing lights off until we get to the runway. So engine 2 is firing up. It's looking good, looking good. We will take our parking brake off. Put our engine mode selector
Park brake off.
into engine mode selector back into normal. And we can give it a little throttle and work our way out. And I will come back to you guys once we get to the runway. So check back in.
Insert the metal fittings one into the other, and tighten by pulling on the loose end to the strap. To release your seatbelt, unplug the upper portion of the buckle. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft, 2 forward, 2 aft, and 1 oblique. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. Oxygen and the air pressure are always being monitored. In the event of decompression, an oxygen mask will automatically appear. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Slip it over your hand. As the straps around your waist adjust at the front. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord.
Alright, so we're approaching runway 8, right? And there it is right there, as you see on your right hand side. So, go ahead and throttle down. cockpit, and we will turn on our landing lights, turn on our takeoff lights, set our flaps down.
Flaps 1. Flaps 2.
Set our flaps to 2. Everything else is on, looking good. Go ahead and turn our APU off. And set our auto brake to max. And we are ready for liftoff. So let's get out onto that runway. We will turn auto throttle on right now. We will set our initial speed for 220. One thing we forgot to do actually is get our ATIS or altimeters 2999. So that has been set actually, so we are fine there. And we are good. Jump back in the cockpit. Try to get lined up with the runway. And that's pretty much good. And we will go ahead and power up. We wanted to say max or man flex 65 there.
Power set.
Power has been set.
One 100 knots.
We're approaching V1.
100
V1.
And rotate.
Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Autopilot 1, cross-check.
Bring flaps 1 up.
Speed checked, flaps 1.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Speed checked, flaps
sink.
0.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't
So
sink.
we went too much power.
Don't sink.
Autopilot 1, cross-check.
Terrain. Terrain. Oh, up.
I'm worried about the terrain. There is no terrain. Go ahead and leave it at 210. And we should be climbing to 10,000. Check our flaps. They are all the way up. And we are steady climbing. We'll get to 10,000. What should we be at when we hit Ibis? We should be at 10,000 when we hit Ibis, which we probably will. Ibis is about 8 nautical miles away. We're climbing at 2,400 feet per second, or per minute. Our ground speed is 229, our true airspeed is 226. We are set for 210 knots right now. Ibis at 9 nautical miles, which is right there. Once we cross 5,000 feet, we will go ahead and press this standard barometer pressure check.
Standard baro cross-check. Passing flight level 049.
So that has been set. Everything else is looking good. Yes. This is the Pacific right now. And then we will be crossing the Atlantic. So we are just outside of Florida. Down to our right-hand side would be Cuba. If you would see any islands or anything. Yeah, right there. That would be Cuba. Over there. Which we should have been at 9,400, and we are just approaching 9,000. So we're a little under, but it's not bad. 400 feet, it wouldn't be much of a difference. We are on our way to flight level 150, 15,000 feet, and we should be there by the time we hit Krabby. Then our next flight level after that should be Skips. We should be at 21,000, and ZQA 34,000, and top of climb we should be at 36,000 feet. We will be going to flight level 360. Island right there to the right is Cuba. This little island right here is on my map, but I don't know what it is exactly. That little island right there is the Bahamas. And I will get back to you once we hit our coming close to St. Martin's. It's going to be a pretty long flight. I believe this is a 2.5 hour flight, so don't want to have you guys sitting around through the whole flight. So once we get closer to St. Martin's, I'll come back. So, yeah, I will be back. So we should be descending now. Our speed's down to 220. We're going to descend down to 3,000 feet, 21 nautical miles. I have turned the seatbelt sign back on. Landing lights are on. Wing light is on. Atlantis is 127.65. Turn that on. 127.65. So once we get into that range, it'll tell us our altimeter. 17 nautical miles, or about 8,600 feet. I am going to turn auto throttle off once we get to 3,000. But I will still use a vertical navigation. There is no ILS approach for Princess Juliana International Airport, so this is what we're going to have to do. We're crossing 8,000 going down. Still 15 nautical miles out, so we started off at 21 and we've gone down 3,000, just about 2,506 nautical miles. So once we get down to 9, we should be down to about 4,000. I believe that is the airport right there, or that's the island right there, or it's right there. One of these two, I believe. Our fuel is at 11,000, so we could have actually done about, well, we've came down about 7,000. So we could have probably done 11,000 kilograms of fuel. It said 19,000 on fuel planner, but I guess we could do less. So we're going to 6,700, still 12 nautical miles. So like I said, I think around 9 nautical miles we should be down to 4,000. And we have set our altitude to 3,000, so that is fine. By the time we hit Lesser, we should be at 1,700. Mapon, we should be at 700. And at the runway, we should be down to 14. So my calculation was a little off. When we hit 9 nautical miles, we'll be about 5,500. But still, by the time we hit 0, we will be down to 3,000. And that actually might be our airport. That might be St. Bart's. So our airport might be right there. Or right there. Actually, yeah, that is the airport right there. That's Anguilla, right there, and that is Marigot, or Princess Juliana Airport, Phillipsburg. So we're at 8 nautical miles and 5,000. Go ahead and hit our our standard barometer pressure. I don't know why we're not getting ATIS. GBO, it's 127.65. Yep, that's what it says. I don't know why it's not calling out the ATIS report. We could just go to local map, center on aircraft, and just look at that, 2999, I guess, so it's fine. I think it's because I'm not flying with real weather and time right now because right now it's actually dark, so I wanted to do a day flight. So we're approaching 4,000 feet, 6 nautical miles left to go. And then we gotta drop down to 2,500 feet. So we will go ahead and switch this to go by the 100s instead of the thousands. And we're approaching 3,000. In 2 nautical miles, we will go ahead and bring it down to 2,500 feet.
Approach phase activated.
Alright. So now we can go ahead and drop down to 2,500. Set that. By the time we get to lesser, we should be at 1,700.
$2,500.
off. So I am controlling the throttle right now. It's all in my control. Now we can go ahead and select 1700. By MAPON, we should be at 711.
Radio altimeter alive.
So we should go ahead and drop this down to 700.
Gear down.
Go ahead and put our gear down. Lower our airspeed.
Spoilers half.
The flight attendants are currently passing around the cabin to make a final compliance check and pick up any remaining cups and glasses. Thank you.
Spoilers full. 1,000. Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Set our flaps to 1. You can go ahead and
Speed checked. Flaps 2.
turn autopilot off. Go ahead and bring the nose down. Get it lined up. Sorry about the freeze.
500. 400. 300.
100 above.
Too low. Flaps. Too low, flaps.
200.
Too low, flaps. Too low, flaps. Too low, flaps. Too low,
100.
flaps. Too low, flaps. Too low, flaps.
50.
Too low, flaps.
40. 30. 20. Retard.
Too low, flaps.
Reverse green. Flaps 1. Flaps 0.
Forty. 30. 20. Forty. 30. 20. 40. 30. 20.
1. "70 knots.
And I don't know if there's a turnoff. You would think that there'd be a turnoff somewhere. Maybe I just have to go all the way around.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Arrival Airport. For your safety and comfort, we ask that you please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns on the fasten seatbelt sign. This will indicate that we have parked at the gate and that it is safe for you to move about. Please check around your seat for any personal belongings you may have brought on board with you, and please use caution in opening the overhead bin, as heavy articles may have shifted around during the flight. On behalf of our airlines and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
So yeah, that was kind of a crazy landing, but definitely fun. Definitely an interesting one. Not my best landing, but we made it safe and sound on the ground, so that's always good. Can't complain with a safe landing. We did take a little bounce, but it's pretty straight, and no unbalance. It wasn't unbalanced. It was actually both back wheels, or all the back wheels, were perfectly flat on the ground, which is good. And now we just got to find the runway, or runoff. So those are for the small planes right there. I'm assuming for the bigger jets, it would be over here. Sign is right in the middle of the road, but well, go ahead and turn off our landing, turn on our taxi, and we can go ahead and get to our gate. Turn on our APU. Actually, let's see if we can turn on our... No, we'll turn on our APU. Alright, go ahead and turn off all our lights. Turn off the seatbelt sign. We'll leave our beacon and nav light on. Turn off our arm switch. Leave the smoking sign on. Go ahead and turn off engine 2. I did turn on the APU. Should be starting any second. So we ended this flight with 11,000. So we only used the 7,000 kilograms. Go ahead and turn off engine 1. bleed. External power is on. Call the stairs. Open the doors. And we are pretty much done. So thank you for joining me on this flight, and hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. It was pretty fun, and yeah, stay tuned for more videos.